Part E, United Nations Organization UNO.
The basic foundation of the UNO was laid down by the Atlantic Charter of August 1941. It was signed and proclaimed by Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister, and Franklin Roosevelt, the American President. The document is famous as the Declaration of UNO. The draft was finalized at the San Francisco Conference in June 1945. The final draft was signed by 50 nations including the USA, and the United Nations Organization started operating on 24 October 1945. Later on it came to be known as United Nations UN.
The objectives of the United Nations Organization are as follows: to establish international peace and security, to solve the crisis among the nations by way of justice and international law, avoiding the wars, to create healthy atmosphere for world peace by avoiding discrimination of strongest and weakest nations, to bring all the nations together and solve the economical, social and cultural problems by cooperation among them. To achieve the objectives, the UNO has a few restrictions, such as all the nations will be considered as equal in status, and the member nations will solve their crises without weapons. Now the structure of the UNO. According to the Constitution, UNO has 6 branches. First one, Assembly. The Assembly means the Parliament of the UNO. Every member nation can send 5 representatives to the Assembly, but it has right of 1 vote only. The meeting is being held minimum once in a year. Now, the functions of Assembly. It can hold discussions on any issue disturbing international peace, to observe the administration of the UNO, to elect the non-permanent and other representatives in the Security Council. Then, Security Council. The Security Council of the UNO means the ministry itself. It has 11 members, 5 permanent and remaining 6 elected by the Assembly for 2 years. America, England, France, Russia and China are the permanent members of the UNO. To pass every decision, it requires the votes of all 5 permanent members. If the decision is opposed by a single permanent member, although it has been approved by all the remaining, it is rejected. It is called veto or negative voting. Then 3. Secretariat. The UNO has its well-organized and active secretariat at Norway. The secretary is the head of this secretariat. Trygve of Norway was appointed as the first secretary of the UNO. The functions. The secretary attends and takes part in discussions in all the meetings of the UNO. He makes arrangement of the meeting of the Assembly, places important issues before the Security Council for discussion, controls the administration of other departments and prepares the annual report of the UNO. Then 4. Economic and Social Committee. It has 27 members and the tenure of each member is 5 years. Every 3 years, 1/3 of members get retired. The main functions: to protect human rights, fundamental rights and frame rules as well as regulations. Then 5th one, Trustship Council. The permanent members of Security Council are the members of this committee. This committee has no veto right, but at present this council is not in existence. Then 6. International Court. The International Court is at Hague in Holland. According to the recommendation of Security Council, 15 judges are selected in this court. 1 country, 1 judge. The period of the judge is 9 years. The functions: to interpret international law, to give judgment of the matters registered in the court, to give legal advice to the greater committees whenever required. Then a survey of the work of the UNO. Right from the formation, the UNO has attempted to solve many political and economical crises. With the possibility of another world war, whenever warlike situations are created at many places, UNO has handled it with peace. Apart from the political work, the economic, social and educational work of the UNO is worthy of praise. International bank and international grants are always helping the poor countries. Along with these, the flood control, disease control, international transport, international post, etc. are the ways of the UNO to increase cooperation between the nations. Ban on the drugs and voice to the problems of women and children is continuous business of UNO. UNO is always trying to ban nuclear weapons, labor issues, cultural harmony, etc. Today, total 192 countries are the member of UNO. To bring all the nations under one global government is the aim of the UNO.